What's up, gamers? Glenn here with episode 18 of 4 Gamers Only. Oh gosh, okay, my cat's being super needy. I apologize about that. And it's just a couple weeks since E3 2015, and that is behind us, and now we have a lot of information to deal with. With me, I have Ben, who is here, I think. Is he here?
Yes, I am here.
Yes,
hello.
he's here. What's been going on with you, sir?
Not much, to be honest, and you?
Same thing. I've been playing a lot of Dragon Age Inquisition, which is weird because I bought that game a long time ago, and it just sat idly by on my console until just recently I decided to play it, and I've been hooked. So, I don't know what changed, but there we are.
I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14, mainly for the review last week, mainly because of all the new content they've added. So
what kind of new content have they added?
The expansion pack added 3 new jobs, 8 new dungeons, 10 new levels, new level equipment that jumps from 130 to 170. There's 180 gear as well, which I'm working on. There's a load of new content that was added with the expansion pack, including flying, which is nice. You can fly everywhere now.
So these people are creating jobs faster than some politicians.
Yeah.
Also, we have QueenQ, who we missed last week.
Hey, glad to be back.
Glad to have you back. What's been going on?
Well, my PS4 was supposed to be in this week, but due to human error, it looks like I have to wait a couple more days. So
damn humans!
Right? And I was gonna say I'm torn between, like, do I have a right to complain because I just simply don't have it, or do I not have a right to complain because hell, it was free?
I think you don't have a right to complain. As a guy
I'm British, I say you do.
As a guy who actually went and paid $400 for his PS4, yeah. No, I'm kidding. No, I'd be upset too. And I loved the hidden venom behind human error when you said it. That was beautiful.
Oh, very human error, and I have since rained hellfire upon the people who screwed with me as far as that goes. So if you guys are listening, hey, screw you both. Screw you both.
Do not mess with QueenQ, people.
Mm-hmm.
Do not mess with QueenQ. She will cut you. Okay.
Oh.
We have some tweets this week, guys. One, or actually a few. We have actually all the people who tweeted us left multiple tweets, which kind of just tickles me. So let's start with @Gabalto. He said, "I don't see the point in backward compatibility. I didn't buy a PS4 to play PS3 games," which is definitely a position that I've heard before. Hey, kitty. I know. Yeah, thank you. Go away. He's talking about, of course, E3 2015. During Microsoft's conference, Microsoft announced that the Xbox One will be backward compatible this holiday. And everyone just flipped out and they were like, yeah, backward compatibility. I think my position on it was that, yeah, backward compatibility is a great thing to have. However, I don't get the fire behind it. I don't get why everyone is this excited about backward compatibility. He seems to share that sentiment. The bit where he says, "I didn't buy a PS4 to play PS3 games." Where are you guys standing on this, with this whole backward compatibility thing?
Well, right off the top of my head, I have a couple of key points as to why I enjoy backwards compatibility. Number one, when you're first buying a new system, it's a great transition from old games to new games. And what I mean by that is when these systems first come out, there isn't a whole lot to play still. So, I mean, it's wonderful to be able to have and enjoy your new system and have something to do on it until it racks up an adequate number of games where you can just transition out. Also, like me, I'm going from I've had an Xbox 360 since the day it dropped. I've been an Xbox girl since that day. That's been quite some number of years. And there are still PlayStation exclusive titles that I haven't been able to enjoy that I will be able to enjoy when PS4 comes out. So I would really like to be able to play them, you know, beginning a series with 1, 2, and 3, so forth and so on. I don't like to just jump in and play like number 3 or number 4. I want to play it the whole way through. I want the whole experience. So there's that as well.
Right. He also continued, he said, Microsoft used the words backward compatibility just for marketing. The only advantage Microsoft has over Sony is price is emulated. Those are some fire words. I disagree with that, and I'll get to that in just a moment.
Okay.
He also says it's difficult to do PS3 backward compatibility with the PS4 because of the PS3's cell microprocessor. It has an unusual architecture, which is true. We've said that before. Mm-hmm. For what you were saying, I just wanted to finish up what he said there, but I want to talk about what you were saying because, yeah, backward compatibility is a fantastic way to transition between generations. However, we're almost 2 years into this generation now as we are. Is it too late for backward compatibility? I mean, everyone's still freaking out about it, yes, but honestly, going forward, how many previous generation games are you going to buy?
Again, I'm a special case. I'm a special case because I'm going from long-term Xbox
to long-term PlayStation.
Yeah, to long-term PlayStation. So I have a whole back catalog of games that I feel I need to hurry up and play. You know, it really boils down to this. How do I word this? So, I guess you can still purchase the older games digitally. Am I wrong? There are some that you can purchase digitally as opposed to just buying the disc and
on PlayStation?
Yeah, for PlayStation.
Are you talking about PS4 on PS4 buying PS3 games digitally?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Can you do that, or is it purely backward compatible?
It's not backward compatible. There is PlayStation Now, which I think would be good for someone like you who's just picking up a PlayStation for the first time. Because PlayStation Now, what is it? It's a subscription service, and you can play PS3 games on your PlayStation 4. That's not the only purpose of it. It's actually the whole vision for PlayStation Now was that you could play games going back through multiple generations on a bunch of different devices. So you could get your iPad out with a DualShock 3 or something like that and play Ratchet and Clank on your iPad. You know, that's the goal.
I feel that's satisfactory enough then, as far as backwards compatibility goes. As long as they have what I'm looking for and I'm able to play it, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm. Now, Xbox's backward compatibility is not native. At least that's what I'm seeing, because the way it works is, I mean, it's emulated for sure. It's definitely emulated. It's not native. But you have the disc. The disc is kind of like a key that you put in, and then the Xbox downloads the game. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't sound to me like it's running from the disc. So it's just interesting though, because it's going to be an emulation. It's still backward compatibility, but Microsoft at the end of its announcement there took a little shot at PlayStation Now, kind of out of nowhere. That's how I know it was a shot at PlayStation Now. There was no context around it. And they said, we don't charge you to play games you already own. And I remember on the reaction episode 16, if you want to check it out, I said something along the lines of, well, you know, they're misunderstanding the purpose of PlayStation Now. Because PlayStation Now is not just a substitute for backward compatibility. It has a goal of taking all of those games across multiple generations and putting them on a bunch of different devices. That's its goal. Mm-hmm. So, backward compatibility, which is why I disagree. Part of why I disagree with at Gabalto here, where he said Microsoft used the words backward compatibility just for marketing. Well, no, because they're actually putting backward compatibility on the device. Like it's not like a streaming service like PlayStation Now that's like faux backward compatibility. Still kind of a form of backward compatibility if you think of it that way, but it's an emulation of the Xbox 360 games on the Xbox One without any extra hoops. It is pretty much backward compatibility, you know? It's a form of backward compatibility. So to say that it's just for marketing, no. I mean, it is. That's exactly what it is. They're telling everyone, hey, we're putting backward compatibility on the Xbox One. No, it's not just for marketing. And I also disagree that the only advantage Microsoft has over Sony is price. I mean, that's not true. There are things that Microsoft's doing better right now. But as far as backward compatibility is concerned, I mean, personally, I just think it's too late. I think, like QueenQ was saying, the time for backward compatibility was, in 2013 when millions of people bought PlayStation 4s and Xbox Ones for the first time and then put them on their shelves, turned them on, and said, now what? That was the time for backward compatibility.
I kind of just downloaded Warframe and went, yes, Warframes!
This guy, how much did you spend on Warframe?
Spent. I still spent money on it.
How you do? After all this, how much have you spent so far?
Probably about £400. That's $600, $700, $800 altogether.
Oh man, on Warframe.
Gosh,
that's over 3 years.
I mean, that's over, but you don't play it as much now, do you?
Not as much, but I still go on for events.
Back then, like Warframe was the only thing you would play.
Pretty much.
We were doing a Racial Diversity Gaming Hour at that time, like the early episodes of Racial Diversity Gaming Hour. And that was like the only thing that he would play.
It's an amazing game.
So most of that money you spent around that time.
Yeah. I still spend next month will be the new Prime Access. And that will be another £70.
Oh gosh.
So I'll purchase that.
I can't do that. Like, the biggest one for me was MMOs. I used to play Ion, and I spent a couple hundred on that over the couple years that I played, but, I mean...
I see, I'm a sucker for stuff like... See, I like having lots of money in the game, and lots of XP. So when they release that pack once every 3 months that gives you double XP and double credits for 3 months, I kind of always fall down and buy it.
How much is it?
It's £40.
Gosh.
wow.
But you get all the items in the update, plus a load of in-game currency, plus the 90 days of double credits and double XP.
They know how to get you, man.
Yeah, they know how to get me.
They know how to get you.
Special scarves! Special scarves! Nobody else has those scarves once the pack's gone. Nobody! Except everyone who purchased it, maybe, but nobody else.
Oh man. At Shifty25 on Twitter, he actually posted some pretty interesting information here that kind of corrected something we said before.
Okay.
QueenQ, we went to the E3 experience.
Yes.
And for the whole first part of it, it was super glitchy. And I remember saying, well, this is probably happening in all the theaters because that's how it was last year. Last year for E3 Experience 2014, there were a lot of glitches in the beginning, and they looked a little different. I mean, they were just kind of pixelated, and we could still hear what was going on, but the visuals were gone. And that was last year, so I guess we assumed that this year was the same thing. Shifty here says, Glenn, I'm pretty sure the issue y'all had at the E3 experience. Man, I need to read your, is it from Texas that you are, or the South? I think you said from Tennessee. That rustling noise is my cat, by the way. Why is he doing that? My cat's name is Blaze, just since we're talking about animals. He's telling me that the issue that we had at E3 Experience was the theater's fault this year because his theater ran it perfectly fine with no issues at all. And it was pretty big last year because we had, I think it was it Jeff Cayley himself who was talking about, there's problems in all the theaters. We saw tweets from people everywhere, all over the country saying, hey, my theater's screwing up. What's going on? I guess this time it was just Orlando. So if you had a perfectly fine E3 experience, screw you.
Yeah, because those issues were severe, and thankfully it cleared completely up after that because they were borderline about to ruin the entire experience.
We missed the Last Guardian trailer. I had to go look it up on YouTube later.
Yeah, me too. And
my experience was just fine.
It was exactly as it was last year.
I mean, but it wasn't enough to make me say that I wouldn't do it again next year. I totally would do it again. Hopefully with fewer problems. But hey, Florida, if you know anything about Florida, we're pretty much one of the dumbest states in the United States. So I'm not surprised that we would screw it up.
Wait, what do you compare it to?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, every other state, I suppose.
Every other state.
Yeah, there was a report that came out recently saying that we were, like the 49th dumbest state or something like that. So I'm really not surprised.
I don't know how many states there are exactly, but at least you're not the bottom. Think of that.
Yeah.
I know that Miami has the worst drivers in the country. They actually did like a survey or something and found that Miami had the worst drivers in the country.
Oh, everybody knows that.
Yes.
Oh God, I learned how to drive in Miami. Not saying that I'm a terrible driver, but like it's made me pay a lot of attention. I almost got killed like 2 nights ago. If I wasn't looking in the right direction, I would have been like done. I was getting on the ramp to get on the interstate, and the guy just decided that this would be a great place to just slow down without using a brake. Just naturally let the car slow down.
That's so random.
Yeah, so random. But hey, that's Florida for you.
I got cut off by a school bus full of children in Miami.
Sorry, that was funny.
It's like the things that happen on the roads in Miami just transcend what the hell.
Yeah, and so it's no surprise to me that they would screw something up like this, especially nowadays. The internet is, I'm sure, a big theater like that could afford decent internet. So what was going on?
Yeah, I don't know. At one point we saw the active desktop thing,
Oh yeah.
for Windows, especially if you were on old school Windows. Sometimes you'd see, like, instead of your desktop background, like a blank white screen with text and it says active desktop on it or something like that. Yeah, we just saw that for a little while, and that was funny. We took a picture and stuck it on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Shifty continues, Glenn, I think PlayStation didn't mention the hardware stuff much at E3 because they've been continuously criticized for no games. So they did games at E3 and announced the newer/bigger system stuff outside the conference and released the media server feature the same day. Yeah, I had a feeling that there was more to it than I didn't bother looking at the stuff outside the conference just because I had so much going on that week. I had to go back and watch the other conferences at work. I need to find my cat. Blaze, what the hell are you doing?
Being cute.
He's playing with, like, paper or something. I don't know where he is. That's his name, by the way, Blaze. But yeah, I figured there was probably some other stuff going on outside, and there was. I believe there was a 1 terabyte PlayStation 4 announced for Europe. Ben, have you heard anything about that?
Not really, to be honest.
There is. I actually looked at PlayStation Europe's website, and there is a 1 terabyte PS4 being sold there. No such thing in the US, so maybe they're just testing the waters? I don't know. What waters are there to test? Xbox is finding some success with it. I mean, they should be looking at the competition at all times. Hold on, I'm gonna find this cat. He's having to... Hold on.
Hold for show.
Talk in the meantime. You guys talk.
What was the question?
The 1 terabyte PS4.
1 terabyte PS4.
To be honest, it's so easy to upgrade the PS4's hard drive that I don't see the point in... if you need a new one, then yes, fair enough. But if you don't need it, then there's no point because the PS4 is ridiculously easy to upgrade, just like the PS3 was.
People like that.
You never used the PS3, so but at the side of it there's a little flap that you can unscrew, and then you literally remove the hard drive and put the new one in. With the PS4, there's a sort of shiny side to the left-hand side where the disk drive is.
Mm-hmm.
You literally push down, pull it forward, and there's the hard drive. You just unscrew one screw, put in your new one, and that's it.
I had a PS3. I was
Yeah.
living with a guy, and we bought it late in the relationship. And so we only had like 1 or 2 games. And so I made him promise me that if we broke up, I would get away with the 360. And I did. So he ended up with a PlayStation 3 and 2 games. So I had one for a couple of months and screwed him out of it. But I didn't know that, honestly, because I didn't have it that long.
Okay, I found a kitty. This is him purring. So, this is Blaze, and he is being a jerk, but now he's being all super sweet and stuff, so I'm just gonna try and keep him still while we do this show. Yeah, so PlayStation has definitely gone ahead and released a lot of the information that I think a lot of us were expecting in the conference, outside the conference. And I find it interesting that they're continuously criticized for no games. Like, that is one of the biggest fanboy statements I see out there besides, oh, well, such and such a company copied, which is probably the stupidest statement I've ever heard, because it's technology. But I'm going to leave that off for just a moment and take a look at this no games thing. People are always like, you know, I'm not on PlayStation or I'm not on Xbox because it doesn't have any games. Which is total bull. I mean, even in the beginning, it had games. It didn't have a lot of games because it was a brand new freaking system, but it had games. So let's take a look at this right now and see exactly what, quote, no games amounts to. Wikipedia has lists of the games on every console. And it is Wikipedia, so the list is probably not 100% complete. But taking a look at it as it is, today is July 5th, 2015. Taking a look at it, they have pretty much all the games that were announced at E3. I notice a lot of indie games, a lot of games that are on Kickstarter, waiting to be going forward, waiting to go forward. So their list, I don't know if it's 100% complete, but it is pretty complete. So if you take a look at the Xbox One, let's take a look at the Xbox One's list.
Okay.
I'm not going to read all of these games because there's a lot of games here. Total of 438 games on the Xbox One right now. Or not right now, but either currently available or planned for release. That's what this is about. Currently, right now, games that are playable on the system, 192.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go out right now and buy 192 Xbox One games. That's a lot of games. That's not no games. That's a lot of games. Out of the 438, there's 304 of them that are multiple platform, 38 that are exclusive, 19 that are Microsoft exclusive, being, you know, Xbox and Xbox One. Excuse me, Xbox 360 and Xbox One. And then you have the console exclusive, the ones that are like on PC or something, but for the console, they're only on Xbox One, or timed. There's 52 and 21. So there's a good 438 games out right now, or that are out right now, or coming soon, within the next year or so. Then you look at PlayStation. 337 games playable right now. 53 exclusive, 16 Sony exclusive, being, you know, on PS4, PS3, PS Vita, and then 111 that are console exclusive or timed, for a total of 579 games. There are literally 579 games on the PlayStation 4, and then here was the surprise, the Wii U has a total of 625 games on this list. 170 of which are exclusive, of course, because it's Nintendo, and then 131 that are console exclusive. There is not one of these systems that has no games. Not one of these systems is, you know, can take that no games thing and make it true. Yes, all of these systems have games on them, and a lot of them are on multiple platforms. A lot of those games are games that you can play on your favorite console, regardless of what console that is. So to say that they have no games, total bull. I am so tired of these ridiculous things that people these warriors for these consoles say. Because a lot of the time it just doesn't make any sense.
I think the correct statement is there are no games that I want to play. That's what they need to be saying. They have to stop saying that there are no games for the system. You prove that there are. There are just no games that they want to play. That's all.
See, I've proved that wrong too, because a lot of the games are multiple platform.
Yeah, but maybe they don't want to play them. I mean, like
Maybe they just want to look at their console. They don't actually want games. They just want to. They want the game about complaining about no games.
See,
That's all they want.
it's just that I call them fanboys. And I know that people take the term fanboy as, you know, hey, I'm just a fan of this or that. But when you look at the people who go to battle for these systems and treat each other like crap for these systems, they give some of the dumbest reasons. I've never really seen one good reason for anyone to behave like that. And of course, we're gamers, we're people, we have our preferences, and that's good, that's healthy. It's okay. It's totally okay to say, hey, I like Xbox better than PlayStation. It's totally okay to say I like PlayStation better than Xbox. But when you behave like that, at least back up what you're saying, which is what they fail to do constantly, which is what ticks me off.
oh yeah, and people disregard personal preference all the time, like. And I really do think that's what it boils down to is people, like you said, they just want to argue for the sake of arguing, argue to be correct. I don't know. They just want something to complain about. But at the end of the day, what works for you doesn't necessarily work for me either. So there's that.
No. Which reminds me of the PC guys that are all like, hey, go buy a PC.
Yeah, but the reason I don't PC game is because I don't want to keep up with the maintenance that it requires to stay current to play the games that I want to play. That is the whole purpose of console gaming. It's a one-stop shop. I buy the console, I put the game in, it plays. I don't have to worry about video card updates. I don't have to worry about like all this other, like buying new hardware, downloading new software. I don't want to deal with that. How do I know that? My dad's the vice president of a computer company, and I still don't want to deal with it. Even though I know how to, I don't want to.
Very well said. Very well said. I mean, there are reasons to buy what you want to buy. You know, everyone's like, oh, buy a PC and you'll solve all your problems. Well, no, you won't, because a PC costs money over time. You buy a console, you buy it once, and you've got good quality games, great quality games for 10 years or so until there's a new console out, and then some. You buy a computer, you buy a PC, there's maintenance involved, just like you said. And it costs money and it takes time. So, you know, there are reasons why people choose to buy other devices. They don't have to buy the device that you have to buy. Excuse me, I'm not speaking right. They don't have to buy the device that you like just because you like it, you know?
Yeah, and I get so tired of, you know, the PC master race thing. Yes. You guys get a superior gaming experience. It's beautiful.
Oh,
I love the screenshots you guys get.
Absolutely.
But I don't care. I don't care.
Which
I know
is what people miss.
Get that. Yeah.
That's exactly what they miss. We don't care. We don't give a crap, you know?
Yeah, go on with your PC bad self. I got bills.
Right?
So, there you go.
Honestly, I have a 2013 iMac, a 27-inch iMac. And I bought it during college. I'm a communications major. We use Mac software a lot. I was like, hey, you know, I'll stick with Mac for now. And honestly, I love Mac. But I could have gone and bought myself a pretty boss gaming PC. Because, frankly, you know, Mac, as far as gaming is concerned, Apple focuses on the mobile devices. You know, they've already said, hey, we're probably not going to do anything for, you know, our Macs as far as gaming. They have games. They have pretty good games, but not nearly the library that's available on Windows or Linux.
Right.
So, I mean, you can install Windows natively on this thing, which I've done. I play Steam games and Windows games. But anyway, I could have bought myself or built myself a pretty boss gaming PC. I mean, I've built PCs before. I know how to do it. I chose not to, because if I really want to play a PC game, I have Windows installed on this thing. It has really good stuff inside it. It has not let me down yet at all. I mean, it still runs pretty much at the same quality, at the same speed it was when I got it 2 years ago. I mean, it's a great machine. I love my iMac. And I don't have to go out and I don't feel the need to go out and buy a gaming PC because my gaming is mostly on the consoles. You know, I choose it that way. It's my money. You know, when you give me the money, then you can decide what I'm going to use it on.
Right?
So if you want me to buy a gaming PC, pay me. Pay me. And I'll buy a gaming PC. Until then, it's my damn money and I'll use it however I please. Thank you.
Right. Absolutely. There's just so much effort and maintenance that goes into it. And I don't want to deal with it. I don't.
Honestly, I definitely see the appeal of a gaming PC because it gives you high performance. If you like Windows, then you kind of maintain it in a similar way that you would a normal computer. So yes, there is a lot of maintenance, but in general, the maintenance isn't something that's out of the normal for general computer maintenance. It's just gamers would probably decide, hey, I'm going to keep up with this a lot more and, buy the latest hardware and all of that stuff. So, but if you have a computer, if you have a Windows computer, if you have a Mac computer, heck, you're pretty much set. I mean, you might not get the super crisp experience where you can count the particles of dust, but you've got something good. You've got something that can run your games, then be happy. Be happy.
Yeah.
But we've been talking about this a while.
Okay.
We have been. And we're still on Twitter. Goodness, we haven't even gotten to our stuff yet. I sent a tweet out that says, looks like Forza Motorsport 6 is getting a mod system. What do you think will come of it? Hashtag all about that Ford. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if someone said that the Ford GT is going to be the only vehicle in Forza Motorsport 6. Or Forza Motorsport 6, as I wrote. But, goodness, Ford GT. If you didn't know, if you couldn't tell, there will be at least one Ford GT in Forza Motorsport 6, just so you know.
Day one, we'll purchase it now.
At Serpentine_X, he says, at least the devs are trying to bring something new. All it takes is one or two doing it right, and it becomes a common feature. Talking about the mod system, not the Ford. And it's true because this isn't the first game with the mod system that we've heard about this E3. I think Bethesda's conference talked about, was it Doom that has a mod system, or was it Fallout, or both?
Both.
Both. Okay, so we're starting to see these mod systems come into console games now. And, I mean, how do you think they'll work? I mean, can you create a mod on your console? And how easy is that compared to how it is on a PC?
on Doom and Fallout, you have to make the mod on your console if you're a PS4 owner.
Can you say Bethesda again?
Bethesda? I can't even say it now. Bethesda? There we go.
No, I just love making you say that.
Anyway, you can only make the mods on your PS4, but if you're an Xbox One owner, you can transfer your mods from PC to Xbox One. I don't know if you can transfer Xbox One to PC, but this could cause issues because, of course, you can do a lot more with PC than you can with Xbox One, with the reasons you said earlier about PC gaming.
Mm-hmm.
It's more expansive, so so understandably the mods can be do a lot more than. So it'd be interesting to see what the limits are.
Although I wonder, because pretty soon here Xbox One is going to run on the same operating system as PC.
You still have better hardware that you can purchase on PC than you can on Xbox One.
You have better hardware, but at the same time, like when you create a mod, how does the hardware affect what you're doing?
Well, it depends on what you're modding. If you're making a level with a certain amount of enemies that the Xbox One will have struggle with because of the RAM or because of the CPU, there is all the different. Maybe the textures at 4K. Maybe you mod the game to have 4K textures in your arena. Xbox One can't support 4K. PS4 can't support 4K. So that might cause issues. So there's probably going to be a limit to what you can do with those official mod tools.
Okay.
Not because I'm not saying the consoles are bad. Look at Uncharted, look at Doom, look at a lot of the games. But mods, especially, aren't 100% perfect. They're just done by fans, so they're not going to be completely coded. There's going to be errors. There's going to be glitches that you wouldn't see what you might see nowadays with professional gaming. I can't say that, but you'll see more chances of issues. Especially as they're just modifying the game, they're not actually making the game, they're just changing the code.
Right.
So yeah. But look at Unreal Tournament. I had a lot of fun modding that on the PS3. So we'll see.
Yeah, this isn't the first time that we've seen mods on console games, is it?
No, it isn't. It's the first in a long time, but the last time I remember was Unreal Tournament, really. That completely supported PC to PS3 mods. It was a lot of fun. I don't know if it supported the Xbox 360. I think it did. Or it might have been a PS3 exclusive feature. Can't remember.
So let's understand this right. On the Xbox One, you cannot create a mod on that console.
Oh no, you can still do that, just like the PS4.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
But if you want, you can transfer your PC mod over to your Xbox One.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
That's why I said that could be issues, depending on the mod tools.
I'm excited because as far as I know, I think I have an invite to the preview program for Xbox One.
Okay.
So I am looking forward to getting involved in that and seeing what's coming next. I'll be able to try out the backward compatibility and try out the new Xbox experience thing. Is that noise my cat still?
No, that's my dog and her
Oh, that's
extremely
your
long
dog.
nails.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have so many animals on this show. Pedro had
I can't-
Bailey.
I can't get an animal. I live in a flat, so
Okay.
I'll get some sort of digital animal. Will that do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Get one of those, those little pocket things from the 90s.
Yeah, I'll get a
Tamagotchi?
Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi, that's the one.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
one of those Digimon toys. Those were there too.
Oh, those are fun.
Right? He also asked us at SerpentineX, he said, if you had to pick only one game, this was a good question. If you had to pick only one game to demonstrate to non-gamers why you like gaming, what would it be? He says he'd choose The Last of Us.
Ooh.
I replied, it depends on the person. Games like Ori and the Blind Forest are easy to get into. Games like Smash Brothers are all around fun. Games like The Last of Us or Uncharted are good for story. If the person is, say, my grandma, I'd probably go with Ori. If it's my bud from work, I'd probably go with Smash or Uncharted. That's what I said. But what about you guys?
Oh man. Well, the joy I get out of gaming is story. The storytelling. That's why I love RPGs specifically. I love being told an extremely good story. Ever since I was born, my dad would read books to me every night when I was growing up. So I'm addicted to plot. If I had to choose a game for somebody who doesn't necessarily game, but wants to play, I would love to give them a good solid story. I've never played The Last of Us, but I'd imagine that is a great place. That's a great jumping off point. But it depends on your audience too. If you're catering to someone older, then you want to do something like The Last of Us. But if you're catering to somebody younger, then you want to do something like the popular Mario Kart racing game, something that they can just pick up and play and go. Or even WarioWare. I completely loved WarioWare so much. And I think that would be my game of choice for everybody. If I was like, all right, I know you guys don't play games, but try this out. I would get everyone to play WarioWare in one big group.
For me, if it was like a group, I think I'd go with Smash Brothers.
Yeah?
Yeah, because Smash Brothers is like the quintessential party game.
Yeah, it is. I don't like it very much, so
you don't?
No, I don't know why. I just never got into it.
That's okay. I forgive you.
This time.
This time. So, he also mentioned something to do with Patreon. Guys,
I don't get to mention anything?
No, you don't.
Oh.
Okay, fine, go ahead.
Well, I pretty much agree with Smash Brothers with a group and, casual play. But for someone, I actually think Journey is a great game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Journey would be one of the ones that would be good to get people into games.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not stressful. It's got a nice story and it's just nice to to get them used to playing games.
Journey's coming out for PS4, right? Or is it out already?
Yeah, 21st.
The 21st. Okay. I'm looking forward to that.
And if you bought the PS3 version, you get it for free.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I didn't get a chance to. I played Flower, which was nice. I liked Flower. And I played Flow, but I haven't gotten to play Journey. Those are all by the same developer,
yeah.
by the way.
Oh, and I always want to say, make sure you always give credit to the beta testers for Journey, because trust me, the original version was pretty bad.
That sucks.
Because when we first tested it, they wanted to only have motion controls. You know, using the 6-axis to move around.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and it played really badly.
Mm-hmm. Now, we're not taking turns, Ben, so jump right in.
Yeah.
Where are you? Are you there?
Ben?
Yeah, I'm still here. What?
Did we... Oh, there you are. Okay,
I'm just listening to the sounds again.
Yeah, the dog. What's your dog's name?
My dog?
Yeah.
Oh, she's an English bulldog, and her name is Sugar Bear.
Oh, okay, an English bulldog.
Yeah, she's so cute. When she falls asleep, she looks like a big pile of mashed potatoes.
That's the best description for a dog ever. Okay. He mentioned something about Patreon. Last week, I think I mentioned that I can switch Patreon from per episode to monthly. But there's actually something that I need to explain about Patreon before I go ahead and do that. I'm probably going to do it separately from this episode, so look for that later during the week. And I'll kind of explain how Patreon works per episode and per month. It's actually kind of the same. I was looking at it. It's actually kind of, because it charges you once a month anyway. But anyway, I'll get into that later. One last thing here. I said, Happy 4th of July, gamers. As you light your fireworks, remember why we do so on this day. And at the Spark _ he said, is it in remembrance of the PlayStation Eye, which released on this day in 2003? To which I said, absolutely. So that's it for tweets, guys.
I thought it was because it was the day Will Smith saved you and Jeff Goldblum as well from those pesky aliens.
Probably that too. I mean, I'm sure that...
My dad let me skip school that day and see that movie at midnight when it premiered.
Oh gosh, how was it?
It was awesome, man.
Oh, okay, as long as it was awesome.
It was.
There are some movies where it's like, I skipped school for this. You know, and there's some movies where it's like, oh gosh, I skipped school for this. I'm too scared to go to school tomorrow. So, I don't know. I don't like horror movies. That's why.
Oh, well, Independence Day was awesome. And I loved it. Yeah.
All right. I haven't seen it. That's why I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's okay.
There is one more tweet that I missed from Snova, at Snova34Z. Now that the trilogy of the Arkham series is done, what do you think is next for Batman?
A nap?
Yep.
Like, you know, it just came out. Can we just give it a couple more weeks before we start asking those kinds of questions?
For me, it's just that, like, I don't think that anything... I don't think they're going to do much with him. I think he's going to take a break. I think he's going to take a nap.
Yeah, sometimes it's just time to put it down for a little bit, you know?
Mm-hmm. I also have a feeling that that studio might have other projects that it might want to work on. I don't know if they'll be Batman related. I mean, that's always possible. But I think that just like with the movie, the Dark Knight trilogy, you know, the trilogy for the games is done. I think Batman's going to take a break until he resurfaces in another franchise somewhere else.
Yeah, because I'm kind of tired of Batman right now.
Are you looking forward to the game?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the game.
You sound uncertain.
Well, I wish I knew when I was going to get it. You know, I'm faithfully watching my tracking every day. I'm waiting for it to, like, arrive. I'm waiting for my call, and I should have had it by now, so I'm a little pissed off.
No, I understand.
You know, just a tiny little bit. Tiny little bit.
I can't believe you get this stuff for free. Anyway, that's it for tweets, guys. Join the conversation. We've been active on Twitter quite a bit. We're on Twitter at 4G only, number 4, GONLY. We will read your tweets on the air. Although we'll probably spend less time on it in the future. It's 40 minutes so far, just for tweets. So, I don't know. But anyway, send us tweets and follow us and share us with your friends because we like to be shared. Sharing is caring. We can't be hogged just for one person, so spread the love. Spread the 4GO love. And let's move forward. Nintendo's press conference had... Oh my goodness, I'm hearing music.
I'm Ryan McCaffrey.
Oh, not me.
Screw you, IGN. I hate when they play their videos automatically. But Nintendo's press conference from E3 got a lot of negative publicity for the company. Our own Gary pretty much cussed him out on Twitter, saying, "What is this nonsense?" And a lot of that revolved around Metroid Prime Federation Force. And the reaction to Federation Force was hugely negative. People were like, what is this? People were angry. People were upset. And Nintendo has decided to take the step to acknowledge that, which is smart. I mean, you cannot sit in your own cesspool and pretend that everything's okay. That is definitely a huge step toward failure. So Nintendo is smart in acknowledging that the reaction's been really negative. Honestly, I thought their whole press conference was boring, not just Federation Force. After I watched Nintendo's press conference, I decided I was done watching press conferences. I was bored. But Federation Force was definitely the biggest crux for them. And so they said, there's no here's the quote directly. There's no sugarcoating it. The reaction's been negative. There's no sugarcoating it. So they spoke to Mashable, Reggie Fils-Aimé, which is Nintendo of America's boss. I had no idea how to pronounce his name before E3 this year. I thought it was like Philame or something, but apparently it's Fils-Aimé, so that's cool. He acknowledged that fans were disappointed not to see a traditional Metroid Prime game make an appearance. There's been really high fan demand for a regular Metroid Prime game. And instead, we got Metroid Prime Federation Force. So, if you want to imagine what that's like, take that Final Fantasy VII trailer that we saw, and imagine that we only got that thing that was before it. What was that? What was that? What was that, Queen?
Sorry, just me putzing around.
Oh, I thought you dropped something like in frustration.
I kind of did. I'm waiting to hear why people are upset. What's up? What's the concern? What's going on?
The concern is that they were hoping for a regular Metroid Prime game, a new Metroid Prime game, and instead they got this Federation Force deal, which is not.
Football.
What's that?
Metroid football, pretty much.
Metroid football, exactly. So that's like what I'm saying. You like Queen. You remember the Final Fantasy VII trailer that we saw at the PlayStation Experience?
Gorgeous.
Yeah. So do you remember what came before that? It was like this little dinky Final Fantasy thing with chibis.
And I thought it was going to be like I thought it was going to be like a fake commercial that characters were watching on like a TV screen or something like that. I thought it was just going to be like something cutesy in the background of something greater. Right.
So imagine that the Final Fantasy VII reveal was no surprise, that we expected it.
Okay.
And instead of the Final Fantasy VII trailer that we got, all we got was that thing with the chibis.
I would buy that.
You would buy that?
Yeah, I like it. I'm looking forward to that World of Final Fantasy. It looks amazing.
You're looking forward to World of Final Fantasy, but imagine that was our Final Fantasy VII.
Being the fact that Final Fantasy VII had chibi artwork to begin with on the PS1, I would love it.
Well, I'm
trying to prove a point, man.
I would just kind of sit back and just if it was Final Fantasy VII that we were talking about, I would sit back and be like, well, I'm not surprised you guys did it again. Once again, we're getting some crap that we don't want. But that's if it was Final Fantasy VII. Now, because it is Metroid, and keep in mind, I didn't even watch the Nintendo conference. I only watched the beginning and checked out.
You did not miss much.
Yeah, I only watched the beginning and just checked out. And because of what I'm hearing, that it's not like, not like your normal kind of falling in line with other Metroid games, yeah, I'd be kind of pissed. I'd be like, all right, why did you do that?
Mm-hmm.
And did they give an explanation?
For why people are upset?
Did Nintendo give an explanation for why they went that route instead of what we potentially wanted?
Yeah, because they did, actually.
They wanted to expand the demo, didn't they, on the 3DS?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think, no, Nintendo DS, sorry, because there was originally like a weird little demo thing like it. That was a demo, by the way, not actually a game that you got free with your DS that you didn't have to pay for.
Right.
Yeah. Dang.
And not a full game, like this one will be.
Well, here's what Fisame said. Here's a quote. He said, "This is an example where fans who aren't able to get their hands on the game may be at a bit of a competitive disadvantage. Everyone who has played what we're showing regarding Metroid Prime, they've come across really pleased. My ask is that fans trust us. We believe that in order to propel the franchises forward, we have to be the ones to constantly challenge the paradigms, challenge the conventional wisdom, challenge what we thought was the essence of the particular franchise and a particular form of gameplay." So what he's saying is, we want to keep this franchise fresh. We want to move it forward. We want to do something else with it. And in order to do that, we have to change things. That's what they're saying. That's not saying that you're not going to get another regular Metroid game ever. It's just saying that we're trying to do something fresh with the franchise. The timing is terrible, considering that people were expecting a regular Metroid game. And so they got this instead. That was a negative surprise. But the negative feedback here is not necessarily that the game is terrible. I think if you take away the context of we're expecting this and we're getting that instead, I think if you take away that context, no one really has a problem with Federation Force. That's what I'm thinking. I think it's just the disappointment that we're not getting what we expected, what we were hoping for. That's making the negative press for Federation Force here. And it's true that Nintendo in the past has had games where people were like, what the heck is this? And then they actually got a chance to play it and they were like, oh my goodness, this is awesome. So, I think that Fisame is saying, hey, I'm asking fans to trust us. I think that's valid because Nintendo's been in this situation before. And, you know, saying that people who have played it come across pleased and whatnot. And I know that that's Nintendo saying that, so take it with a grain of salt, you know, but honestly, I think that as far as Federation Force goes, the game itself, there's nothing terrible about that game. It's just people are upset that it's not what they expected.
Yeah, and again, appropriate timing as well. If it's been a while, people have a tendency to kind of want to pick up where they left off just a little bit. And also, okay, I understand you guys want to do something different. However, you guys got to be a lot more careful about what it is you're going to do different and when. Does that make sense? Absolutely.
And speaking of doing something different, can we not have direct videos for E3 anymore? Like, I mean, there are direct videos every month. Like, just get a conference. That's what I think. That's my opinion, anyway.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But, I don't know. I've never liked the direct videos for E3 because it doesn't feel like E3. It just doesn't.
No, you watch it to see it live.
Exactly, yeah. So, I don't know. I think Nintendo can definitely afford to do it. I just wish they would. Because or at least make it different, because there's direct videos every month. So, you know, just having one at E3 doesn't really feel very special. That's what it is.
Yeah.
The Last Guardian, the developer of The Last Guardian is also the developer of the games Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. And those games weren't fantastic as far as I'm hearing. I didn't buy them. And it's probably a good thing, because I'm hearing that they just did not sell very well at all. And so Sony is hoping that this changes with The Last Guardian. Again, The Last Guardian impressed back in 2009 when it was first announced, and then it vanished, and now it's back to massive excitement. At least I think it was massive excitement. I mean, the people in our theater were pretty chill about it. They're like, oh, yay, The Last Guardian. It also could have been because we couldn't see it because the screen was glitching out.
Yeah.
So there's also that to consider. But I went and I looked at that trailer again and on YouTube after the show, and I wasn't that impressed. Like, there wasn't anything about it that was like, oh, I've got to go get this game. But Sony's Jim Ryan, here's an interesting quote here. He says, "My organization," that's Sony, "did not perform particularly well with either Ico or Shadow of the Colossus. I have berated them for this and said we have to do better with this game." I would love to hear Jim Ryan berating Sony for not doing well with Ico or Shadow of the Colossus. He's added that games like The Last Guardian, they're big games. They need to be profitable because, quote, the sums are just too big. The amounts of money are just too great. If only, if only it wasn't just because, you know, the amounts of money are too great. If only you could strive to make every game good. Just because, you know, it's a project that you're working on. It has your studio's name on it. People are going to play it. Your reputation's on the line. No, it needs to do well because there's a lot of money on the table.
Yeah. Yeah, and I you know, I was wondering at what point are the game developers gonna stop and realize that, hey, we really just can't afford to make any more games that people aren't going to genuinely like. Because with quality, your money will come, for the most part.
I actually think that that's kind of been going around, which is part of why indie games are finding success right now. Because when you have a big AAA title with millions and millions and millions invested in it, you know, you need that to succeed. Because if it doesn't, you're out millions and millions and millions of dollars. Whereas you have an indie game, maybe funded on Kickstarter, maybe not, you know, but with a significantly smaller budget, you haven't invested as much into it. And so I think the developers find that they have more freedom to try different things. And as that developer grows, the things that they find success in as an indie studio can grow with it and become more, what's the word I'm looking for? More accepted? More central?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, indies are finding success right now, I think, because of that mentality, because of the fact that, you know, we're putting a lot of money in, so we're going to play it super safe. Whereas the indies have the freedom to go out and be like, hey, let's go crazy and find something new.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
So does The Last Guardian, I mean, definitely The Last Guardian needs to succeed. But, I mean, me personally, I wasn't impressed by the trailer. Do you think that they need to play it safe, or do you think that they need to branch out and do something different?
I think they need to branch out and do something different because I don't feel, ever since I saw my first trailer for The Last Guardian a couple of years ago, I felt like I'm just looking at Ico, or Ico, however you pronounce it.
Ico, sorry.
Yeah, I feel like I was just looking at Ico, and that game was fun, yeah, don't get me wrong, but it was very bare bones-ish. That it's the kind of game that I would expect from an indie developer.
Right.
If that makes sense. That's the kind of game that I would expect an indie developer to make. If it were an indie game, it would be easier for me to accept what I was seeing. However, they've got a lot more money invested behind this, so I kind of want to see more.
Absolutely. It's like, I want to see what you're doing with all this money and all these years. I mean, don't forget, this was announced 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's not coming out until next year. So 7 years between the announcement and the launch. Again, pending any delays. So, I mean, I guess everyone's sitting around thinking, hey, Last Guardian, you better be good.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure, isn't it?
Well, all I'm seeing are two protagonists and maybe some puzzle action here or there, some kind of jump puzzles there sprinkled in. But I'm still not totally sure what's going on, or if there's a bigger plot at stake that they just don't want to reveal. And if that's how it is, then that's fine. But I'm really scared that everything that we saw is all we're gonna get.
I think that's why it didn't impress me, because I was looking at it and I'm like, okay, what's going on? Yeah, it did look kind of like a jump puzzle, but, you know, I play Guild Wars 2, and there are a lot of jumping puzzles in Guild Wars 2, and I freaking hate jumping puzzles. So,
see, I'm the complete different of you. I got really excited for it. I want it more now.
Oh gosh, dude, play Guild Wars 2. I love that game.
Not the jumping puzzle. It's just the whole interacting with the animal, helping him across, and him helping you across, and you working as a team to get across.
That looks good. And basically, to use what Queen said, it does kind of feel like an indie game. And not that indie games are good or bad, it's just that it feels like it's focused on that small aspect of gaming. Like, here, let's just do jumping puzzles. I wasn't impressed with what I saw. Like, I think I'm longing for some kind of story. I'm longing for some kind of, I feel like it deserves to be more of like, one of those 12-hour games like Uncharted or Infamous or that kind of thing where it's just, let's go through this story and through this world together.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel like I'm looking for with The Last Guardian. I want to know why this big giant bird dog thing is following me. I want to know who he is. I want to get to know him, and it feels like it needs to be story driven and not puzzle driven. And I think that's why I have a question mark over The Last Guardian right now.
Huh.
I expect it to be story driven because about the Ico and Shadow Colossus were both story driven games. So
I'm hoping so, but I guess what I'm saying is I hope it's that the gameplay is not just puzzle gameplay. I hope that it's gameplay that can really react to that story. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. That's why I have a question mark over this game. I just don't know what to expect from it yet.
I do, because this is the kind of game, again, like I said, that I would expect from like a startup gaming company. Like, hey guys, we just got together, we just made a company, this is our game. And then I'd be like, yeah, you go guys, you freaking rule. Next time you should experiment with this, experiment with that. But, I mean, this is a bigger company we're talking about, and clearly there's a lot more invested in it, and I'm worried that they're not going to make their money back.
Exactly. Well, I have no doubt that they'll make their money back just because of Watchdog Syndrome, which is what I'm calling it. Where, there's a lot of excitement behind the game, and so a lot of people buy the game, and then a lot of people are disappointed by the game.
Oh, the hype train.
Exactly. So I think that Last Guardian has a lot of hype behind it because, 6 years in the making, it disappeared for a long time, now it's finally back. A lot of people have heard of it. I think everyone's gonna go buy this game. The question is, will everyone be happy that they bought this game? I have no doubt that they're going to make their money back just because of the hype. But the question is, will the fans regret buying the game afterward?
If what I'm seeing is all I'm getting, then I want to say yeah.
Well, in that case, I guess let's hope for more trailers.
Yeah, yeah.
I also look at it as like, this is its coming out party. It's been gone for a while. Hey, this is a trailer to show, hey, we still exist. Hello. So, hey, let's hope for more trailers. That's all I got.
Yeah, and hopefully those trailers will contain a little bit more, because it looks beautiful, and I may play it just because it looks pretty.
It does.
But let's hope for a little bit more in the long run.
I want to know what this creature is. It's like a dog, but it has feathers and bird legs, and it's crazy.
It's like Falcor. Is Falcor or Elcor? No, Falcor. Yeah, it's like Falcor crossed with a griffin.
I bet it has some kind of cutesy little name.
Hope so.
Like Fido or Buddy.
I hope so.
I thought they already gave it a name. I can't remember what it was now.
Did they? I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's move forward here and talk about a person that a lot of people love and a person that a lot of people hate and a person that a lot of people just don't know what to think of.
1 second. It's called the Trico.
What?
Trico.
How's it spelled?
Trico.
Is that the name or is that what it is?
I think that's the name of what it is.
Trico? Oh, no, that's the name of what it is.
Relationship between the boy Trico and the human guardians.
The boy's name is Trico.
I don't know if it's him or the bird. Very confusing.
So
the player controls the boy who must care for the work with the large creature Trico, using its animal instincts to solve puzzles.
Trico?
Trico?
What kind of name is Trico? Trico?
I don't know. It's Trico.
Trico. Trico.
Trico. That just sounds like a really bad treacle syrup.
What kind of treacle? What kind of name is that? Like, I don't know. That's kind of, well, I hope it's Trico more than Trico. Trico sounds more like a name than Trico does. I don't know. What do you think, Queen?
I think the name is awkward.
It does feel kind of awkward. It feels kind of awkward.
I don't think it sits right.
Maybe it's just like a foreign name just for that world.
Yeah, or maybe it's something that'll get drilled into our heads and eventually we'll grow to accept.
Probably.
So,
but anyway, the guy I was talking about, his name is Felix Kjellberg. I can't pronounce that last name, but his name's PewDiePie on the internet, and he is Swedish, which is why his last name is so hard to pronounce. But PewDiePie was was in the news over, I believe, in Sweden, on GameReactor.se. And he was in the news over there because he made 63 million SEK. I need to find out what SEK is. But it's basically Swedish krona, which is equal to about 12 cents here in the US. So.
Oh, okay.
I want to find, hold on. Pause for just 1 second because my browser's freezing for some stupid reason. But let's find out what 63 million...
7.5 million.
Yeah, $7.5 million.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Doing what? Why did that happen?
YouTube videos.
Well, let's see. Have you heard of PewDiePie, Queen?
I've heard Pedro talk about him before. And so I don't really know much about this guy.
Well, what he does is he makes Let's Play videos on YouTube.
Let's Play?
Yeah, he plays games on, if you haven't seen a Let's Play video, you know, you have the game that someone's playing, just kind of like you're streaming on Twitch or something. And you see the person playing the game in the corner, so you see his reactions. And I think PewDiePie was one of the first guys to do it, or something. And he has a really huge personality. He's kind of spastic. He makes rape jokes and weird jokes. And
well, he doesn't make those anymore. He stopped those years ago.
Rape jokes.
Yeah, I figured somebody'd get butthurt.
And so he actually got huge. He has millions and millions of followers. Guy hangs out with Taylor Swift for doing things that all of us can do. And it's just amazing. I think that part of it's his personality. Because again, he has a really, really big personality. He's really out there. He commits to it. But, you know, $7 million. He has a productions company called Pewdie Productions for his YouTube videos, I assume. And the guy has made $7.5 million for his company. Profit. So there was another 0.7 million krona that he spent on miscellaneous expenses. So 63 million krona in pure profit, not revenue. That's $7.5 million in his pocket for making Let's Play videos. And people are upset. Some people are happy, you know, yay, go PewDiePie, you're awesome. But of course, there's the vocal people that are upset. And, you know, you have people on N4G that say it's sickening, which is bull. It's not sickening. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of funny that he's making that much money for doing so little. Or at least what I see is little. Because, again, I don't know what his production process is.
He produces, on average, he produces 2 to 3 videos per day.
Okay.
The only day he normally takes a break is a Sunday, but every other day there's at least 2 videos normally.
Okay, so that's good. So he treats it like a job.
Yeah. And this could be anywhere between Let's Play videos to, as I said before, he has the 5 stuff he buys online. Basically, people suggest stuff to buy online and he just buys random stuff. And then, you know, shows it off. Like the fact he bought a set of women's chests, walked around in his house with them for a laugh. He also has his dog sometimes appear on the things.
Okay, well, funny. I will say that that's interesting and actually a fantastic way to engage with your audience.
Yeah.
But none of what you just said, you know, contributes, in my mind, to why this guy is making $7.5 million.
Well, it brings up a very important question that I felt the need to ask for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
Because the person who bought me the PlayStation 4, Corwin McLeod, I was like, you know, let me do something special for you. What can I do for you? And he really didn't ask for much in return, except, you know, he wants me to dress up in my latex and film a video of myself playing with the PlayStation 4. What is everyone's fascination with watching people's reactions and watching them live stream playing video games online. What's up with that? What is this?
Now, before you answer that question, if it's okay with you, Queen, I don't think you've actually explained what you do before, so I feel like the whole thing about dressing up in latex is going to go over people's heads.
Okay. That's fine.
Are you okay with that, or do you want to tell people what you do? Or
I'm fine. I'm fine with that. So, oh God, hide your children.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh my God. So, as you guys have noticed, I have a very laxed view of sex and women in the sex industry because I work in the sex industry myself. I am a professional dominatrix. I am highly skilled and highly trained in everything that I do. I have a vast array of clientele. I have a great time doing it. It's great money. It's a lot of fun. And that's just kind of who QueenQ is, apart from being a podcast personality. And so, yeah, I do own an array of latex that has both been gifted and purchased for me. Actually, all of my latex has been gifted and purchased for me. Come to think of it, I have never purchased any of it myself. And so, you know, my fans don't ask for much from me normally, apart from the people that I meet up with live and in person and play with. That's a whole separate thing. Most of my fans are people on the internet, and the only things they want are pretty run-of-the-mill stuff, like a couple photos of my feet or my hands. They love my nails. Or maybe they want, like this guy. He just wants a video of me dressed up and watching me play a game. I don't have to get naked. I don't have to do anything else. I don't have to turn on the glitz and the glam and say anything specific. He just wants to watch me play it. And a lot of my friends do the Twitch TV thing, and people drop in and watch, and I just don't get it. And at the same time, you have people like PewDiePie who are making a killing doing it. So half of me wants to ask the question, but the other half of me is like, well, if it fits, it sits kind of thing. Like if it works and people are throwing money at it and people are getting successful at it, don't ask any questions. Just do it or watch and give the people what they want. So I don't understand. I don't sit around watching people's reaction videos. They bore the hell out of me.
Mm-hmm. Well, honestly, I'm thinking of one guy who could probably change your mind on that.
Okay.
His name is Cryotic? I can't pronounce it. Why did he stick an A in his name?
Spell it.
Cryaotic. But he calls himself Cry on the internet, so I'll just call him Cry.
Crap.
And I bought Ori and the Blind Forest for my Xbox One. I love that game. Fantastic game. Queen, I know you don't have an Xbox One. It's also available on PC. On Steam, I definitely recommend that game. Fantastic game.
Ori and the Blind Forest?
Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh yeah, looks beautiful. I want it.
Get it, yes, get it. You won't regret it. He did a Let's Play of that game from start to finish. And the thing about him is, you know, you're not just watching his reaction. You know, he's in the game. And I don't know if he'd be happy if I put like a tiny bit of audio from one of his Let's Plays into this. I might see if that's possible. If you hear Let's Play, if you hear different audio at this point, then you know it went well. If not, then you know why. But anyway, he's really into the game, and there's some times where you know, you think that what he's saying could possibly be what the character is saying, and he's just into it. His comments are not along the lines of, oh crap, that sucks, I'm gonna play, I hate this game, or I love this game, hey guys, this is such and such, and I'm going to play this. No, like, it feels like you're watching, it feels like he is an element of the game himself. You know? It doesn't feel like he's just playing the game on the outside and you're watching him play something else. It feels like you're watching Ori and the Blind Forest featuring Cry, and he is in the game. That's what it feels like. If you're listening and you haven't seen this guy's Let's Plays, I think they're fantastic. The guy has a good voice for it. He doesn't just talk, he narrates. It feels like he's narrating. It feels like he's part of what's going on. He always has great audio quality, so he's not like on some rinky-dink dumb microphone that he purchased from Walmart. Cryotic, go just search for it on YouTube. You'll find him. He's great.
Well, people also love big personalities, no matter what the given situation.
Mm-hmm.
I know that people just love to see people with like just big, outlandish personalities, having fun, whatever. We're attracted to that. It's human nature.
But the thing is, I don't think he has a big, outlandish personality at all. If anything,
Really?
no, not at all. Like, I'll show it to you after this. He is not like, he's not crazy like PewDiePie. I'll say it that way. He's not out there wearing boobs in the house. He's not out there doing all this stuff.
You've lost a viewer.
he just plays the game and he's into it, and he has the.
But does he wear dresses?
You don't actually see him.
Oh.
You do not see him. You don't see his face. You see the character. That's one thing I really love about it. He knows when to shut up, for one. He's not going on 24/7 on the game. Like, when a cutscene plays, he's quiet. He knows when to shut up and let the game tell the story. Which is what I love. So many games, they're playing the game and there's a cutscene going on, and you as the viewer want to know what's going on in the cutscene, and you have to listen to him going on about his girlfriend in the meantime over the cutscene, and it ticks me off. It's like, dude, are you telling the story or not? He knows when to shut up and let the video game talk. And so you don't really see his face. He doesn't superimpose himself over, at least not that I've seen. And he lets the game talk, and he adds to it. Like, playing Ori and the Blind Forest right now, I kind of feel like he's missing. Like, he's part of the game. And that's part of why I like watching his videos, because he doesn't superimpose himself over it. He kind of adds to what's already there, which is why I think you'll like him.
That's just, it baffles me, but I'm open-minded enough to go see it for myself.
Yeah? I'll give you a link after this. Yeah,
pass me a link. I'll go see it for myself, and maybe I'll have an opinion on it next week.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Speaking of your opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Before we
Actually,
change
let's
the
go
subject,
to that. Let's do that in just a minute.
Before we change subjects, do you want to know the real reason why PewDiePie makes so much money? Do you want to know why he's got so many subscribers?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you want to know the total secret to all of the monies?
Yes, why?
It's because he moved.
He moved.
That is the secret.
He moved from what do you mean?
Basically, he was very lucky. No, it's going to be very rarely that we're going to ever see something like him happen again. For more in depth, watch Game Theory about this. They did an episode anyway. Basically, Google's YouTube, it would send adverts of your channel to people of your country more than any other country. So if you were in Sweden, you will be advertised more in Sweden on YouTube. But as soon as he started getting big in Sweden, he moved to a different I can't remember where he moved. I think he moved to Finland for a while. And because he was already big in Sweden, he already had advertisement back in Finland. So he became popular. That helped him make more subs. And then he moved to England. And because England's a different language completely, they then have another language added to his list of basic advertisements. So by moving around while he was popular, it helped him basically propel him to where he is now.
That's really fascinating.
Because that's how Google's YouTube system used to work back then.
That is so fascinating.
He didn't even have to move to the country itself. He just had to stay there for long enough that YouTube would pick him up as, a resident.
Do you think that's why he moved, or did he just happen to move at the right time?
Well, he happened to move at the right time because he did like part-time. Basically, he was at university and then he went to somewhere else. I think he did part-time work and then he came to England for a holiday. It was all perfectly timed, but apart from, I think, England, it was all coincidental.
I just want to say I have nothing against PewDiePie. I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot of his videos. But from what I've seen, he's definitely a character, and if he's finding success, hey, I am happy with that. Like, that's cool. The internet offers all sorts of different opportunities. A lot of people, though, are really mad, and they're saying things like this, from Foxtrot on N4G. He says, people bust their balls in life doing hard labor, and this guy gets $7 million for playing games while acting childish and making rape jokes. Like, I mean, there is, I guess, a little bit of validity in that, but why? So that's not new, is what I'm trying to say. That's not a new thing. That happens all the time, especially with acting.
Yeah, I've been in the entertainment industry a long ass time.
Exactly.
That's how it is.
That's how it is. There are people who pretend to be an astronaut that make significantly more than people who are actually astronauts. It's amazing, and yet people don't seem to have a problem with that. You know, people pretend to be teachers, people act, and when I say pretend, I'm not trying to negate acting, because I'm an actor myself. Acting is not always easy. It may look easy to you, but it's really not easy to get that different character onto you. So, it is hard to do. And it is kind of a talent, but to have someone who's pretending to be a teacher, making so much more than an actual teacher who's in there working with the kids, who's responsible for shaping their futures, no less. That, to me, is crazy. But no one seems to have a problem with that, I guess, unless you're a teacher, you know? So to say that, you know, people bust their balls in life doing hard labor and this guy gets $7 million for making YouTube videos, playing video games, yeah, that's not new stuff. That is nothing new. People find success in different ways. This guy has moved all over the world, and somehow, you know, that has made him extremely popular. The guy is extremely popular. He's an entertainer. He's a big character, and from what I'm hearing, he treats it like a job. And
I'm going to say the people that hate him, right? I don't watch all his videos. There's some videos that even I don't like that much. But if you dislike him and you think he does nothing, try doing his job. What you call not a job, for a couple of weeks of trying to find the games you like that people would like to watch, and then make comedy, actually make it funny as well, not just play the game, because that's what he does. He entertains. I know there's people that just play it, but he does make jokes. So try and do that for, say, 2 months of every day doing the same thing.
It's exhausting.
And then do that for several years.
It's exhausting.
Yeah. It might not. Oh, carry on.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I'm so glad you said that. I'm so very glad you said that. Because even in my industry, the girls who are like, oh, well, there are people that'll just send you gifts and stuff like that. You have no idea how much emotional work I have to put into being careful about how I approach my clients, how I talk to them, what I say to them that gets them to do that, and how far above and beyond I have to go outside of my regular life to get those gifts. You think it just popped up? No.
You know, Queen, when we were at the E3 experience, when we were waiting in line, there was a lot of stuff that you told me that really helped me to understand what you do. And eventually, not today just because of time, but eventually I think that you should further explain what you do, because there's a lot more to it than what you've said so far.
People think it's all sex. People think it's all that, but it's all mental. It's a mind game that has taken me all 7 years that I have been in it to figure out. If you think I just woke up one day and was just this pretty face who was getting stuff, you are absolutely wrong. I've had to take classes for 7 years straight. I've had to be an active participant in the community for 7 years straight. I've had, on top of just luck, just running into the right people, all that. And there are some days, honestly, I don't get what some of these people get out of it. I really don't. Some of them I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not my job to understand it sometimes either. It's my job to do it to the best of my ability and create that fantasy and make it real for them. And it's exhausting. There are some days you will wake up and guess what? You don't want to talk to these people. I don't want to show off my feet. I don't want to have to go every other week, sit in a chair for an hour and a half and get my nails done just so one person can enjoy it. But that guy pays me good money for that. And I do it with a smile on my face.
Yeah, that's interesting, because you told me that you get paid to keep your nails a certain way, because I guess some of these guys like nails or like hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they pay you to keep your hands a certain way, so you have to uphold the standard in your normal real life that they are paying you for.
Oh, absolutely. And I get looks. I get people who are like, well, why are your nails like that? Or why is it this way or that way? And I'm like, you would never understand. You wouldn't understand the fact that, like, some days I want to wear flip-flops, but I cannot because if I scratch or scar my feet, it's going to ruin my business.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, people are upset at PewDiePie to bring it kind of full circle. People are upset PewDiePie does this and he's, you know, getting a lot of money doing it. But let's be honest, if he's able to release a video twice a week, he's probably got a whole backlog of work that he's doing behind the scenes that you don't even see, you know?
He does it every day.
Yeah, every day.
Twice a day.
Well, normally he's back down to 1 because he was ill, but he was doing 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even when he was ill, he was doing videos.
See? People don't see that.
Now, I am not going to say that making $7 million for what he does, even not even taking away the work that he puts into it. I'm not going to say that that doesn't sound high, because to me it does, but I'm not where he is and I haven't done all that work. And I haven't moved all over the world. All I'll say is whatever he's gotten, he has figured out a way to get there. He's earned it, you know? We are sitting here like, how do you even do that? Like, I made a YouTube video that I thought was awesome and like 3 people watched it. How did you make $7 million? You know, he figured it out. And if you can figure it out and if you can do the work to get there, then hey, as far as I'm concerned, you earned what you got.
Yeah, it's meeting them halfway. Like, you'll do a ton of different things. You'll do a scatter shot of things. And you might think this one thing is going to be epic. And this happens to me all the time. I do a lot of modeling in this genre. And there are pictures that I don't even think twice about. I just did it because they wanted me to do it. And everybody loves it. And I'm like, but that picture is so basic. Why do you like it? But you gotta give the people what they want.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's about your business. That's so crazy. Like, honestly, that's like being an actor 24/7.
It is.
That's crazy.
And PewDiePie probably doesn't even have time for a freaking vacation or to do things that he wants to do. He has earned that $7 million behind the scenes.
Oh, when he goes on vacation, he brings the video equipment with him to record it.
See, still working. Still working.
Yeah. So, hey, PewDiePie, I have no reason to believe you're listening to my voice, but just in case you are, congratulations, and keep doing what you do, man, because that's work.
Yeah.
That's a lot. It is a lot.
He is one of the people I would dream to do some work with.
People don't see it because they're on this side of the all they see is the production. All they see is the final product. They don't see what goes into making it and into making not Felix Kjellberg, but PewDiePie, you know?
Yeah.
I'm
And
going to see if I can do it again. PewDiePie!
That's just,
I have to do the hand gestures as well, even though nobody's watching.
no, nobody can see you. But
Nobody can see
do
it,
it
I still
anyway.
have to do it.
Live it up. Do it anyway.
Whoa!
So, but yes, Cryotic. What's his Twitter? I don't know what his Twitter is. I'd have to go find it. But look on YouTube for Cry Plays Ori and the Blind Forest, if you're listening. And just check out this guy. He's definitely my favorite video Let's Play person. I was going somewhere with that name there. But yeah, he's definitely my favorite person that produces these videos, just because of the way he does them. And I think you're going to enjoy his stuff too. Now, Queen.
hey,
Bethesda announced Fallout 4 at its press conference, and along with Fallout 4, they announced something called Fallout 4 Shelter for mobile devices. And Queen, you have been playing this game.
almost obsessively.
Obsessively. How, tell us about it.
So, if you were unlucky and did not catch the Bethesda conference, towards the end of the conference, they wanted to give us a little parting gift, a little something to tide you over until November when Fallout 4 arrives. So they released a mobile game, kind of like your Candy Crushes and your other cutesy little mobile games, where you get to own and run your own vault with people in it. And the purpose of the game is to expand the vault and keep everyone happy, and also defend your vault from raider attacks, things like that, yada, yada, yada. And it is, from the moment I saw it, I got excited. I was like, if anybody's probably going to know how to make a cute, fun game, It's going to be Bethesda, and I was not wrong. I was absolutely not wrong. I have been wearing out my battery on my phone day in and day out playing this game, and it's so much fun. And just the level of things that they thought to include in it, how the game operates is all really, really, really fun. You got to keep your resources up. You got to keep your people pleased, but you can also like create new dwellers, as they call it. You can, make the women pregnant and have new ones, and then put them to work when they grow up. Everybody's got a place, everybody's got a job or something that they're supposed to be doing, and it keeps you on your toes.
I love how you, I love how you're like, yeah, you can just make the women pregnant.
Yeah, it's because to me, it's a very fact of life thing. Yeah. So, and it's super fun. If you haven't gotten around to playing it, at least give it a try. I can't stop playing it. I really cannot stop playing. I don't know what is so addictive about the game. Maybe it's just the fact that I've gotten fairly good at the balance. It's like having an aquarium and you put all kinds of fish in it and you have to figure out the balance, like what fish are going to get along and things like that. And it's been so much fun. You can also send people out to gather items. They can gather guns. They can gather outfits that will help increase everyone's stats, because everybody has specialty stats that enable to do their job even better. So it's so great. It's just so great. If you just want to do something that's Fallout related, keeps Fallout on the brain, and it does help tide you over. Now, however, I can't guarantee that it'll tide you over until November, because the game does get a tiny bit repetitive. Just a tiny bit repetitive. And at one point, I couldn't figure out why everybody was so damn upset. And I ended up losing 30 of my vault dwellers. I got up to like 50 some odd dwellers, and I just had to kill off like 30 of them because I couldn't keep them alive.
Let me ask you this. Does this Fallout Shelter game tie in any way, besides just like the theme of it, to the Fallout 4 game? Nope.
It's its own entity.
Okay.
Yeah, it's its own self-contained entity. So in essence, even if you've never played a Fallout game, you can play Fallout Shelter and jump right in and get a feel for what it's like and for what Fallout's kind of slightly about. I'm not going to go ahead and say what it's fully about, because you're not wandering the wasteland and dealing with ghouls and other things out there. It's nothing like that. You are just the vault director, and everything is done in this cute, cartoonish style. I have had very few problems with it. However, if you guys are going to keep me playing the game, Bethesda, you're gonna have to add some updates here in the coming month or so.
Mm-hmm. So you said there are a few things wrong with it, which means that something is wrong with it. So what issues have you been having?
I don't know if it's user error or what, but sometimes my people will get really upset for no reason. Now, they won't have a high concentration of radiation poisoning.
I call that realism.
Oh.
That's what I call that.
I didn't think of it like that, but you might very well be right. Sometimes they're just upset. I think sometimes you just need to give them a little time. But at one point, like I said, I had 50 some odd people, and it took me a while. It took me a long time, actually. A long time to me is a couple of days to figure out that some of them were like heavy with radiation poisoning, and I couldn't figure out why. Turns out if you're losing water, if you're low on fresh water, they will start getting radiation. I didn't realize that, so I felt kind of stupid after a couple days.
That's really weird. Well, I mean, you shouldn't feel stupid, because why on earth would anyone think that fresh water keeps away radiation poisoning?
I don't know. It was not something I was thinking of. And at the same time, I like to get real comfortable with a game and play it for a couple weeks or a couple days before I tinker with maybe looking up tips and tricks, because it's all a big game to me. It's a game on top of a game. I want to know if I can figure it out, if I can keep the balance going before I start looking up tips and tricks. And I only bothered to look up tips and tricks yesterday. And it turns out it's all stuff, if you're just paying attention, it's all stuff you can honestly just figure out on your own. But it's super fun, and it keeps you busy in your downtime. If you just need a little Fallout fix in your life, this is it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Loving it, loving it, loving it.
Awesome. Actually, someone on Twitter, I couldn't find the tweet, but someone on Twitter posted and said that he wasn't having a good time with it. I don't remember why. I wish I could find the tweet.
Oh, I'd love to know why.
If I find the tweet, I'll let you know. I'm sure I'll find it eventually after we're done podcasting.
I have a major flaw for it.
Do you?
The biggest. Yeah, it's not an Android.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It's only for iPhone products right now.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's a shame. That is a shame because iPhone is the best-selling handset right now, but Android is the most popular operating system out right now. So, just because there are so many different Android devices out there. So, it's definitely a miss for them not to include Android in that. But we'll see. I mean, you never know. Maybe they had a contract with Apple. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, you were going to say something.
Oh, yeah. I was just agreeing. So, like, maybe we will see a future Android release, which would be really awesome because the game, I've noticed, is already super popular. People do like it. But like I said, it's you got to eventually add some new features because I'm hitting a point where it's getting to be repetitive.
I'm not surprised it's popular. I mean, they went ahead and they announced, oh, Shenmue 3 hit its goal really, really quickly. Well, you kind of announced it on stage at E3, so that's not a surprise.
Yeah, like, are you really shocked?
No.
Now, if I could just get some Shenmue reissues for the updated console, Shenmue 1 and 2 reissue, that'd be nice.
Well, there will be a little bit of a video thingy with Shenmue 3 to sort of talk about 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool, because I need to get up to speed.
Okay, we're about to wrap up here, but before we do, there is a new picture going around of Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. Yes, the Deadpool movie is still in production. I think we saw a trailer a long time ago, and we never saw anything else from it, unless you were looking for it. But there is a new image. The movie's being produced by 20th Century Fox, and it's currently filming right now. Comicbook.com released this, and I laugh because here's a quote of what was there before. But with San Diego Comic-Con right around the corner, a new image of Slade Wilson in action has surfaced from Entertainment Weekly. Slade Wilson, aka the villain from the Green Arrow's story, from Arrow. The DC villain, not the Marvel merc with the mouth. Slade Wilson. Just for those who don't know, Deadpool is Wade Wilson. So good job, comicbook.com. But there you go. There's a new image out right now. We've already put it on our Twitter. We'll tweet it again soon. And comicbook.com wants to know, does that angle make him look fat? So there we go.
Oh.
Deadpool the movie comes out February 12 of next year.
Oh, I didn't realize it had a release date.
Yeah, do you know Deadpool?
I know Deadpool. I know about Deadpool.
He's crazy.
Yeah, he breaks down the fourth wall a lot. Yeah.
He does. That's why I think you'll love Sunset Overdrive. There is no fourth wall in Sunset Overdrive.
I want to play the game so badly. That's my only sad, wish I should have got a Xbox One regret.
Oh, man. Okay, so we need to end this show now. I think we do. What is that sound?
That's my chair!
I'm hearing all sorts of sounds. I'm hearing
chair.
Dogs scratching and cats playing with foil and all this nonsense. We should have like a mascot or something eventually.
Ooh, a squeaky chair or a cat.
A squeaky chair. The squeaky chair is our mascot. That's what it is. So guys, thanks for tuning in to episode 18 of 4Gamers Only. We are everywhere. We're in a lot of places. We are on iTunes, we are on Stitcher, we are on SoundCloud, we are on Twitter, and I inadvertently rhymed, so that was cool. We're also on TuneIn Radio, and I wrote a haiku on our Twitter about 9 days ago.
Yes.
Here is what the haiku said. 4Gamers Only, in all its awesome glory, is now on YouTube. And yes, that is a haiku. 575. So check us out. We are also on YouTube. And all of our episodes are up and all of the places that we are at. If you want to support the podcast, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/4GO. Again, tune in later this week. I'm going to do like a quick little couple minutes long thing about how the by episode thing works on Patreon. But the way we have it right now is that you can donate any amount you want to by episode. For every episode we publish, that's a maximum of 4 episodes per week for us. We don't do any more than that. And even if we do decide to become evil villains and release 90 episodes, you can set the maximum. You have a lot of control as far as Patreon is concerned. So you can decide how much you want to give, when you want to give it, if you want to give it. It's just a pledge. You're only charged once per month. And we're going to do some pretty cool stretch goals, I guess they're called. Milestones. They have different terms for different services. I don't know.
Ooh.
So check out patreon.com/4GO. If Patreon's not your thing, we also have a PayPal at our general contact email address, which is 4gocast@gmail.com. If you don't feel like we're worth your money, which is okay, I forgive you and I love you anyway. Or even if you do, frankly, just leave us a review on iTunes or on Stitcher. Believe it or not, that helps a whole lot. So just give us a review. If you like the show, just tell us. Hey, if you don't like the show, just tell us, a review on YouTube and we'll read that review on the air next time. So check that out. We'd appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you to all those who are interested, and to Serpentine, at Serpentine_X, who actually did donate to us on Patreon, or pledge to us on Patreon, I should say. Thank you for your support. We greatly appreciate it. Our music this week comes from OC Remix.
Woo!
I did say we're trying to phase out OC Remix, not because we want to, but because if we're going to actually accept money, we can't use them for free. So our intro is from OC Remix. It is called it's called It's Okay, I Still Make Money. Why can't I talk today? I'm choking on my own words. It's Okay, I Still Make Money from Dive Kick off the PS3 in 2013. You're hearing it in the background right now. It's by Flexstyle, who also goes by Electro Mikey.
Ooh.
It's a really cool song, it's got a really well-produced EDM punch to it, and I love this song. So check it out. You can download it. Our outro is one that we've used before when we were RDGH. It is probably my favorite OC Remix tune that I have heard so far. It's called The Passing of the Blue Crown. It's one of the title songs off of Mega Man 3. The original song is, not The Passing of the Blue Crown, which was on the NES in 1990. You will hear, if you go and hear the original Mega Man 3 title and hear this song, you will be impressed. I think you will. The remix is by Sixto Sounds, Steppo, and Zircon, who is actually on board with allowing us to use his music freely. So very many thanks to you guys. You can download these songs in full and for free from OC Remix. Just check out ocremix.org and share them with your friends because they're really awesome songs. And so, bless you, what was that?
Oh, that was me saying cool.
Cool. You know what that reminds me of?
What?
Family Matters.
Family Matters.
You know Family Matters?
I didn't watch it much.
With Steve Urkel?
Oh, yeah.
They had a character on there named Waldo, and he had a couple catchphrases. One was, "No problem, Bob," and the other was, "Cool." And
Not
so that's
cool.
not cool, but cool. That's kind of what it reminds me. I can't do it right. But anyway, distractions. That's it for this episode, guys. Tune in next week. We will talk to you then with episode 19. Until then, stay safe, game hard, and lots of love from... apparently from no one. You're on the spot, Ben. Hurry up.
4 giddy ostriches. Oh, there you go.
Frankly, goats. Only. Frankly, there we go.
I'm sorry, I give QueenQ the win for this one. AKA 4GO.